Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and More. Today we're going to be talking about honeybees, so please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And for more videos like this, watch my other house channel, A Snakes and Stuff. My youngest son's channel, Henny Stores and Games, or my oldest son's channel, Little Chris 10. Now let's dive into the video. Experts scrambling to understand losses in hives across the country are finally identifying the culprits and the damage to farmed bees is a sign of trouble for wired bees, too. Brett Addy is one of the largest beekeepers in the U.S., with more than 2 billion bees across 55,000 hives. The business has been in his family since the 1930s and sends truckloads of bees across the country from South Dakota, pollinating crops such as almonds, onions, watermelons, and cucumbers. Last December, his bees were wintering in California when the weather turned cold. Bees grouped on top of hives, trying to keep warm. Every time I went out to the beehive, there were less and less, says Addie. Then a week later, there'd be more dead ones to pick up. Every week, there is irritation just continually going down. Addie went on to lose 75% of his bees. It's almost depressingly sad, he says. If we have a similar situation this year, I sure hope we don't. Then we're in a death spiral. It developed into the largest U.S. honeybee die-off on record, with beekeepers losing an average of 60% of their colonies at a cost of $600 million. Scientists have been scrambling to discover what happened. Now the culprits are emerging. A research paper published by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, though not yet peer-reviewed, has found nearly all colonies had contacted a bee virus spread by parasitic mites that appear to have developed resistance to the main chemicals used to control them. Vala mites, equivalent in size to a dinner plate on a human body, crawl and jump between worker bees. If there are no infections present, they do not typically damage the bee, but if diseases are present, they quickly spread them. While Vala typically infests honeybees, not wired bees, the diseases that they spread can kill other pollinators. Research has shown that the viral outbreaks among honeybees often spill over to wild colonies. With potential knock-on effects on biodiversity. It was only a matter of time before resistance to immunity, the only remaining effective chemical, would develop. Norman Creek, bee expert, all beekeepers in the USDA screening used imidazolide, a pesticide widely used in the sector to get rid of mites. But the research showed all mites tested were resilient to it after years of heavy use. Imidazolide no longer appears to be effective. The discovery underscores the urgent need for new control strategies for this parasite, researchers say. Mite numbers have increased to high levels in recent surveys, according to the researchers, who collected hundreds of samples from dead and living hives from 113 colonies. When mites become uncontrolled, variant viruses are more likely to take over, researchers say. Since the 1980s, Vala mites globally have developed resistance to at least 4 leading miticides, pesticides specifically formatted to control mites that are challenging to develop. to develop, causing significant problems for beekeepers. Norman Carrick, a senior technician at the University of Sussex, who was not involved in the research, said sadly it was inevitable that major honeybee colony losses would again occur in the U.S. at some point. It was only a matter of time before widespread resistance to amazine, the only remaining effective synthetic chemical, would develop, he says. But the discovery of amazite-resistant mites in hives does not mean they alone were responsible for all of last year's record die-offs. A combination of factors is likely to be causing successive colony deaths among U.S. bees, including the changing climate, exposure to pesticides, and less food in the form of pollen and nectar as monocrop farming proliferates. Many U.S. beekeepers now expect to lose 30% of their colony or more every year. These wider combined factors are also devastating for wired pollinators and native bee species and honeybees, which are closely monitored by their keepers, may be acting as a colony in the coal mine for pressures affecting insects more generally. Almost all bee colonies have these viruses, but they only do significant harm when the colony is stressed. Paul Hawthorne of the charity Bug Life says honeybees are in effect a farmed animal as opposed to wired bees, but they will be suffering from the same stresses as their wired cousins, in particular loss of good habitat, climate stress, chemical stress, light. Addie says we had mites for 20 years, and we never had over 3% losses. He believes there's a combination of things that makes the bees more stressed and the mites more deadly. He cites the use of nocturnal insecticides in the U.S., which harm bees' nervous system, paralyzing and ultimately killing them. Some researchers have warned that insecticides causing another silent spring, referring to Rachel Carson's 1962 book on the effect of the insecticide DDT on bird populations. Dave Glueson, professor of biology at the University of Sussex, says the study provided no evidence that the viral load was higher in weaker colonies. Almost all bee colonies have these viruses, but they only do significant harm when the colony is stressed. He says high levels of viral infection may be a symptom of ill health, not the cause. Due to government staffing cuts, the USDA team were unable to analyze pesticides in the hives and asked bee experts at Cornell University to carry out the research, with the results still to be published. Experts are concerned that successive loss of honeybee colonies could affect food security, as the insects pollinate more than 100 commercial crops across North America. Reports of new losses this year came through before the California almond blossom season, which is the largest population event in the world, requiring the services of 70% of U.S. honeybees. Danielle Downley, director of the nonprofit beekeeping research organization Project APES, which conducted the die-off survey, says, if you like to eat, you need healthy bees to pollinate crops. Beekeepers try to rebuild each year, but they are pushed to the brink as losses and input costs keep increasing. If beekeepers fail, there is no backup plan for the pollination services they provide in U.S. food production, she says. Meanwhile, beekeepers are being pushed close to ruin. When Addie was growing up, he would get upset about losses of more than 5%. Now a loss of 30% each year is standard. It's absolutely insane that there's an acceptable loss in a livestock industry, he says. Like many beekeepers, Daddy was unable to restock this year because the losses were so high. I'm just watching every nickel and dime right now because I don't want to get rid of men that have helped me manage these bees for years. Thank you for watching this video and peace out till the next one.